Play.
Okay, so Sinner Zverev round 12. Round 12?
Round 12, yeah.
Round 12. This is possibly, I'm going to call this right now, this is possibly my least favorite matchup on the ATP Tour that we see regularly. Just because these two throw together some, like, mind-numbingly boring stuff.
Zverev do something. That's like, I think that's the starting point.
That has to be the starting point.
Because we have to go through the last, the last three matchup. He has a combined 14 games, which is not going to cut it. And it's quite surprising, right? So it just starts with the serving, which he's been serving phenomenal all week. It's going to be played at 7 p.m. You know, these are still quick courts at that hour, but he at least is very comfortable. You know, Sinner has played a night match, but he's come from playing in the day today, and also not much kind of physicality to either of their matches today. So, you know, both should be fit and firing. But yeah, starts with the serve. Can you get some free points? Can you get on the board? Maybe some scoreboard pressure. And then, yeah, as you mentioned, they're both just so solid, rock solid from the baseline. Like, who's going to go for something first? And you just think if Sinner gets a little bit, yeah, as you say, if Sinner gets an inch, then he'll take a mile and, you know, take over those rallies. So getting Zverev on the move is always a good tactic for those top players.
I really think it's like Sinner just doesn't feel scoreboard pressure like at all. The guy, well, like I think he's like one of the only guys. Even Carlos feels scoreboard pressure, right? Like, what was it against Mickelson? Jannik's 4-all first set. Mickelson saves 2 break points to potentially, like, pretty much steal the first set. Guy saves 2 break points, holds. Sinner holds to love in like a minute. Like, it's like the guy's winning 95% of his first serve when he gets it in. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, the guy's better serving numbers than GMP, and he's playing like Jannik Sinner. So this for me has like 6-2, 6-3 written all over it, like Sinner. I don't think Zverev does anything. I think if we find a situation where Zverev is confident enough to switch to the forehand more often than he does in previous engagements between these two, then I think maybe we could probably see a tight set. Maybe even Zverev takes a set. But I just don't think that if the forehand isn't on and, you know, Sinner, you know, nicks an early break out of nowhere, you know, plainly because Sinner returns how he does, this isn't going to be close. I'm actually going to say, right, if Feast beats the Hedgehog tomorrow, I think Feast wins more games against Sinner in the final than Zverev does against Sinner.
Interesting. I'm going to combat that, Fergus, honestly, and I'm going to go with, I think this is going to be one of the more competitive matches on the Zverev side that we've seen. Of course, I can be totally off, but I think the problem, though, as you mentioned, it was good analysis in terms of the forehand side. Like, I think the problem when, especially playing Jannik, is like he's so good at everything, but his ability to create so much shape off the forehand wing, I feel like that's something that Sasha struggles with. Now we've seen like confidence in the forehand, as I talked about this week, but I think when it starts to change height on that wing, like I think that's where Sinner can take over, gets a shorter ball, and the next one steps in the court and, you know, dictates. But yeah, I just think his serving ability this week, I think he can nab a couple games. I'm going to go with the first set being more competitive than the second set, but still leaning Sinner in straights.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready? Play.
Okay, so Sinner Zverev round 12. Round 12?
Round 12, yeah.
Round 12. This is possibly, I'm going to call this right now, this is possibly my least favorite matchup on the ATP Tour that we see regularly. Just because these two throw together some, like, mind-numbingly boring stuff.
Zverev do something. That's like, I think that's the starting point.
That has to be the starting point.
Because we have to go through the last, the last three matchup. He has a combined 14 games, which is not going to cut it. And it's quite surprising, right? So it just starts with
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Summers, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you are tuning in from. I do have a question there, which is, who do you think will win? Maybe it's even influenced by the first 2 points of this match, which have both gone the way of Alexander Zverev. But more significantly, they've both gone the way of Zverev on the Jannik Sinner serve. There was an interesting net approach from Zverev on the first point. And I thought he didn't play it that well, the first point. And yet he managed to win the point somehow. But that's all that matters, I guess, is that you got to win the point. The second point, there was one much better. Now we're on the third point. It is going to be a second serve. Zverev does well to get that back in play. Goes big up the line and misses just. I don't dislike the way Zverev played that point. It was a tough second serve to deal with. He dealt with it. He was then in a corner, and he did all he could, but he couldn't land it on the island. Okay, 30 all, because Sinner's won the next point as well on his serve, thanks to a decent serve down the tee and then a +1 scenario and then a very, very good volley, because actually Sinner didn't do very well with the +1, but he did do very well with the volley. It was a really tricky volley as well. 30 all. For those of you just joining, hit the like button. If you haven't already done so, hit subscribe. And by the way, when you hit subscribe, you'll see this little number below me tick over. And then also get voting in our poll as to who you think is going to win between Jannik Sinner and Alexander Zverev. Okay, Sinner here serving, 30 all. Misses on the first serve. He's missed a few first serves in this opening game of the match. How significant will it be? Well, we'll find out in the next couple of minutes, I guess. Second serve, backhand return. He's loving the down the tee serve. That's a really good forehand that Zverev can't deal with. And 3 points in a row. And for now, at least, the danger from the Italians' perspective has been averted. 40-30. What's that you say? You're looking for a book about Manchester United and in particular focused on how Sir Alex Ferguson drew inspiration from Manchester United's losses to mastermind some of their greatest triumphs. Well, you're in luck. Check this book out. I'm going to post it in the live chat. Okay, back to Jannik Sinner against, yes, it is my book, yeah. Jannik Sinner, unreturned serve down the tee, and he does hold for one love. So 4 points in a row, and the Italian holds. But maybe Zverev can take some encouragement from that opening game. Ozan, what have you been doing the last 5 years? Have you been under a rock? I don't mention it every show, but it gets mentioned. And our audience tease me about how often I mention it. In fact, Damien used to tease me all the time. Okay, Zverev serving here. Love 1. Decent serve down the tee, but really well returned by Jannik Sinner. Now on the forehands, and Jannik goes big down the line with that forehand and misses. Kind of out of character. I would expect Jannik to make... It's a tricky forehand for mere mortals like myself, but actually, that is the kind of forehand that Sinner often makes. It was big and it was bold, but it didn't land. 15 love. Zverev misses the first serve. You'd think that Zverev will want somewhere around about 75% plus first serves today. Oh, that's very good of you to put the rivalry aside. Yeah, indeed. And that backhand return as well from Sinner will disappoint him off that second serve. 30 love. To give us a follow on Instagram at TalkingTennisTT. Let first serve. So, first serve here, Zverev. 30 love. Another let. Back-to-back lets. Zverev is not convinced by these lets. It looked like a good serve. I don't think he thought it was doesn't believe in the let machine, I guess. Okay, so another serve here for Zverev, out wide, somewhat predictably, but that's a nice forehand, but oh, I thought again Sinner would make that, but didn't. 40 love. So we're looking like a comfortable hold here for Alexander Zverev, but he has been given a helping hand by the Italian. I think, Ozan, you went for a Sinner win in straight sets. Oh, no, you didn't. You went for 3 sets, right? Oh, that's a really good return from Jannik. And now he comes into the net, but he's passed. I mean, Jannik did really well with the return there, but from that moment onwards, Zverev was pulling out a few rabbits from the hat, including that final one, which was a hell of a turnaround. 1 game all. 7 minutes in as we see the Miami sun about to set. Palm trees in the foreground. The aforementioned ball of fire in the background. People are walking out already. I don't know why they're walking out. Maybe they're not happy with... We haven't seen a juice game yet. We thought we were going to see a masterclass from Sinner. We're off. We're off to buy a $100 hot dog. Yeah. I mean, one thing... Oh, what a good drop shot from Alexander Zverev, who's showing a bit of variety already today. That was a hell of a drop shot. And again, he gets the first point of the game on Jannik Sinner's serve. Look at that. And the spin away took it away from Jannik. So, love 15. We approach 10 minutes for this match so far. Okay, of course, the winner will play Yuri Lahetsko in the next round. And that's a gift from Sinner on the forehand there. Love 30 again. In the previous service game, he went love 30 down and then won 4 points in a row. The situation with Zverev, yeah, I think there's an upward situation compared to this time last year where he had a horrible South American swing and sunshine double. Good serve down the tee there from Jannik Sinner, which is aced. We're going to see a few of those today, I imagine. 15-30. And Zverev can't deal with that serve, and it's 30 all. Okay, 30 all. Where are you going to go with this serve, Mr. Sinner? Tried to go down the tee, but missed that serve. So, here's your chance, Mr. Zverev. Where's he going to go with this second serve? Down the tee again, backhand return. A little net cord there for... Oh, and Sinner has been off it thus far. Yes, was unfortunate in the fact that Zverev got lucky with the net cord. It did, of course, disrupt the trajectory somewhat, and it meant that Sinner had to chase that down. But he got there in plenty of time, and you would expect him to make that backhand, make it over the net, albeit he might be vulnerable to the passing shot. But actually, he didn't even get it over the net. So we've got a break point here for Alexander Zverev. Serves down the tee. Now on the forehand of Jannik Sinner, and he puts that away. Deuce. But these opening three games can certainly give Zverev heart, whether he gets the break here or not. Of course, there is the negative way of looking at it, which is like these two first service games for Jannik Sinner was where you had your chance and you didn't take them. Serve out wide. Decent forehand return, but Zverev on the run goes along with the backhand. It does feel like Zverev is trying stuff. We've seen a drop shot. We've seen a net approach. We've seen a bit more aggressive play from him at times. So it does feel like he's trying something. Anyway, game point here for Jannik Sinner to get to 2-1. Decent backhand return, given how good that serve was. Backhand here from Zverev into the forehand of Jannik Sinner. And it's an error off the racket of Jannik, which has, there have been a few of them already, and we're at deuce. The forehand of Zverev is much maligned. I think sometimes we go a little bit too far on how much criticism we give for it. I think it's because he has an elite backhand. 0 unforced errors thus far off the racket of Alexander Zverev. And that may be a little bit. There was one just now that went long. Obviously, they've put that in the forced error category, which I think is a little generous. But anyway, 6 from Jannik Sinner, yeah. Ace out wide. Not much Zverev could do about that. Speed, angle, and precision as it bangs right on the line there. Look. Game point, Jannik Sinner. As we go past the 5-minute mark. As Jannik looks to hold to get us to 2-1 at the change of ends. Where are you going to go with this serve? Backhand return. Jannik now on the backhand down the line. The forehand from Zverev goes long, and we have indeed got a hold of serve for Jannik Sinner. 2-1. But he's been made to work for these two service holds in a big way. Jannik Sinner there. Complaining about the speed of the match at the moment, but I guess as the server, isn't he kind of in charge of that? I can understand if he was receiving and Zverev was in a hurry each time. But seems a bit peculiar to be, when you're the server, to be complaining about the speed at which the match is being carried out. But just shows you that Jannik is a little perturbed about how the first 3 games have gone. Do let me know your thoughts in the live chat. I know that Ozan is going for Sinner in 3. I think I went for Sinner in straights. But I think there's optimism from those first 3 games that suggests that Zverev is going to get at least a set. Especially as he held to love, didn't he? I mean, it is just 3 games, mind you. Some of the beatdowns that Sinner has... what are we going on here? First serve contact points. I'm guessing that's to do with the ball toss. Are we looking at that? First serve contact points in, out. Or that's where the ball was landing. I'm a bit confused by this stat that's popping up on the screen right now. Is that where he's hitting the ball when he throws up the ball? Because if it is, we can't really see from that. Anyway, what we can see is that Zverev is serving at 1-2. And he misses the first serve. Where are we at with Zverev on these first serves? Because it feels like he's hit more second serves so far, even though he did hold to love. Backhand now from Zverev goes into the net. Love 15. All right, let's have a look at some of these stats. Just want to see a percentage. So Zverev is currently at 60% of first serves landing in, which by his standards actually is a little low. But we've got a very small sample size at the moment, to be fair. Okay, serves down the tee. That time it was a first serve landing in, so it's 67% now. Backhand to backhand. Forehand from Sinner. Backhand from Zverev. Lovely backhand there from Jannik. Now it's on the forehand of Sinner, and that is a winner, love 30. I think that's Greg Norman there. The golfer, the white shark. Love 30 here. 17 minutes on the clock. Serve down the tee on return, 15-30. So is Zverev going to do the same to Sinner, what Sinner has been doing to Zverev, as in lose the first couple of points and then win a bunch more? Yeah, Greg Norman looking on intently. This second semi-final, of course, the winner of this final will play Jiří Lehecka in Sunday's final, which we'll have a live watch-along for. Lehecka beating Artur Fils earlier on, 6-2, 6-2. Zverev serves into the forehand of Jannik Sinner, which lands in. Backhand now into the forehand of Zverev. Backhand now from Sinner into the forehand zone of both players. That's a bit short from Zverev, but it might well actually help him win the point. In fact, it does. And Sinner there, just a little gingerly getting to his feet. He didn't fall exactly, but he did have to crouch down. Yeah, the shortness of this ball, which I don't think was intentional. I also think it took a bizarre bounce. Actually helped. Yeah, so he just stumbled there, didn't he? Look, Jannik. And it did mean he's just a little grimace. Okay, second serve here for Sinner to look at 30 all. Jannik will feel like this is a chance. Where are you going to go with this second serve, Mr. Zverev? Down the tee, backhand return, which has got good depth on it. Zverev just about deals with it. Backhand to backhand right now. Now into the forehand of Zverev, into the backhand of Jannik Sinner. The rally continues, and it's pretty difficult to work out who's got the better of this rally at the moment. Sinner now on the backhand into the forehand of Zverev, and Zverev a bit passive in this point. And Sinner's doing all the work now. Definitely he's up in this rally and he should win it from here. Comes into the net, puts the smash away, 30-40. Break point for Jannik Sinner, his first of the match. He's had to save a couple of break points himself, and now he's got one of his own. Yeah, Zverev a little bit passive on that point. Didn't really have a chance to hit a winner, but he certainly could have moved Jannik around a bit more and make him more a bit uncomfortable. Chose to not do that, and Jannik ended up punishing that passiveness. As we hit the 20-minute mark, we have a break point here for Jannik Sinner. Alexander Zverev to serve. Where are you going to go with this serve? You are going into the backhand. Backhand now from Zverev into the backhand of Jannik Sinner. Now on the forehand of Zverev. Wonderful forehand up the line from Jannik Sinner. That is why he's the second best player in the world, and that is why he's the favorite to win this match. He is in front now, 3-1. So after an encouraging first 3 games for Alexander Zverev, the sucker punch arrives. Sinner on his first breakpoint opportunity takes it with an exquisite forehand down the line winner, bringing Darren Cahill to his feet. So, Jannik Sinner up a break. Though I don't disagree with you, Ozan, regarding the conditions for Alexander Zverev, it is kind of a surprise that he hasn't got to a Miami semi-final before. 15 love for Jannik Sinner. I don't think he's been in a semi-final. He's certainly not been in a final anyway. If I just go Miami 2025, I know he didn't get very far. I think he lost to Artifice in 2025 in the round of 16. Oh, we got to the semis in 2024. Lost to Dimitrov. Okay. So he's reached this level before, but never beyond the semis. Quarterfinals in 2022. Lost to Casper Ruud. That's a result I wouldn't necessarily anticipate. 2021. Lost in the first round to Rusevori. 2020, of course, no Miami due to COVID. 2019, lost in the opening clash against David Ferrer. 2018. Oh, it looks like he has been in a Miami final. I'm sorry, Alexander Zverev. Made the final in 2018, lost to John Isner. Sorry, Mr. Zverev. Done you a disservice there. 2017 made the quarters, lost to Nick Kyrgios. 2016 lost to Steve Johnson in the second round. In fact, that year he played Michael Moe and then Steve Johnson, and there were 4 tiebreaks for the German. He won the 2 against Michael Moe, but lost the 2 against Steve Johnson. I'm guessing that was his first year on the tour, right? Okay. Back to this clash. 30-15 Jannik Sinner. By the way, do hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. And if you hit subscribe, look at this little number just below and see it tick over. Where are we at with Zverev on first serves? 70%. Okay. Sinner as well. Great return from Zverev. He's got to do that. When he gets a chance and it's in the strike zone, he's got to go big, and he went big, and he got his reward there, 30-all. Oh, wow, we just got another subscriber. Thank you very much. Clearly somebody who likes watch-alongs, so do join us for watch-alongs where possible. We've also got another one tomorrow, the women's final, and then we'll have the men's final as well on Sunday. Okay, Jannik Sinner serves out wide, and that should be enough to win the point, and it is 40-30. Okay, so game point here for Jannik Sinner to get to 4-1 and consolidate that break. Backhand return. Oh, good depth on that backhand. Oh, is Jannik all right? I think he might have hit. Seems to be in the wars at the moment because I think he's just struck his knee with his racket, I think. It's a really good return from Zverev with excellent depth. And Jannik couldn't quite adjust himself to deal with it. I think he hit his knee with his racket. So following the stumble, which seemed to affect his ankle, he's now struck his knee with his racket. I do think he's okay. But a bit of discomfort there for the Italian. Deuce. Ace out wide. Clenched fist tells you he's won the point. And it's a game point once again for the Italian to get to 4-1. Three aces already off the racket of Sinner, which probably tells you as much about his incredible serving as it does about Zverev's return. But also the fact that Zverev has yet to hit an ace, maybe likewise. As in, like, Sinner's return is very good. There's a let as well. Lots of lets. And look, now it's Jannik shaking his head regarding the let. And I wonder if there's a situation with the wind maybe just affecting the net and throwing us off course and giving us a few false net chords, perhaps. Keep an eye out on that for the rest of the match. Okay, we're into the rally here, but Zverev is on top and an excellent forehand winner. Again, much braver tennis there from Alexander Zverev. And that's what he's going to have to do if he's going to get into this match. Deuce. Okay. 3-1 deuce. Jannik Sinner's serving. Down the tee. Zverev does well to get his racket on it, and it just lands out. That's unlucky. I thought that might just drop in. I couldn't quite see where it was going to land because Sinner's body was in the way. And yes, a close call as we approach 20-8 local time. So game point once again for Jannik Sinner. I think it's his third of the game, but it's going to be a second serve for Zverev to look at. Backhand return here to the backhand of Sinner. Forehand from Zverev, backhand now Sinner. Forehand to forehand exchange right now. Although Sinner's moved direction. Sinner holds 4-1. So 4-1. Okay. Sinner 4-1. Now it's Zverev who's not happy. I don't know what he's unhappy about. Okay, 4-1. Zverev looking pretty grumpy. Just trying to listen to what they're saying. 30 minutes on the clock. I actually think Zverev's been a bit unlucky in the fact that he's approached this pretty well. I think it's been pretty even as a contest, and yet he finds himself 4-1 down. But he's now going to miss that forehand. So 1-4, love 15, not looking good for the German right now. Zverev. Yeah, very grumpy right now is the German. Okay, 30-15 now. So from love 15 down, back-to-back points for the German. Make his outlook a little bit better. Forehand return miss hit from Zverev lands out. 40-15. And he's up to 80% now on his first serve, which is kind of what Zverev does. But the first serve is not troubling Jannik that much. Although it troubles him there as he can't quite return it. Yeah, Zverev has got 12 of his first 15 first serves in, which normally puts him in a very comfortable scenario regarding his serve. I think they might be speaking some Russian there, you know. Okay, 4-2. Sinner's at 74% on first serve, by the way, in terms of first serves landing in. That was a first serve, but we're into the rally here. Zverev, good depth with that backhand and good depth with the forehand, to be fair, but the rally's a long way from being done. And now he goes long on the backhand. He's kind of annoyed then. Again, I think he's a bit unlucky because the depth was there on that occasion, but Sinner dealt with it so well. Maybe he's just got to do something. I mean, bring Sinner into the net maybe somehow. We've seen him execute a really good drop shot earlier, but there wasn't really a drop shot opportunity in that last rally, to be fair. Sinner ace out wide. I think Sinner's the best server in the world, by the way. And the competition for that includes Mr. Zverev over the other side of the net. Djokovic is in the conversation still, for sure. Alcaraz depends. Not right now. 40 love. 3 game points for Jannik Sinner on a 5-2 lead. Ace out wide. Just so many aces at the moment from Jannik Sinner. 5-2 he leads. We saw Solana Castella in Jannik Sinner's box a couple of matches ago. It was an interesting addition to his box. Anyway, 5-2. Jannik is 1 game away from winning the first set. And those of you just tuning in, you probably see the scoreline and go, yep, that's how we always see it between Zverev and Sinner, or often see it, not always. But it doesn't quite tell the whole story. Zverev has had a couple of break points on the Sinner serve. And in the first, I think, 3 games, I think we saw Sinner hit 6 unforced errors and Zverev hit 0. Zverev had a couple of chances. Maybe it was a couple of points when he was a bit passive, but he was producing some good tennis, a nice drop shot, brought Sinner into the net on one occasion, and yeah, was doing just about everything right, but didn't get the break. However, from that 2-1 game onwards, that's when Sinner decided to go into ruthless mode. He gets a 1... And by the way, again, the other thing that Zverev has done well, he's getting his first serves in. His first serve percentage, 80%. I mean, what can you do? In fact, he's only hit 3 second serves in the whole match, and yet Jannik has managed to get in on that one service game. And he struck at 30-40 with an incredible forehand down the line. So it's just how it is, right? According to my stats, actually, I think I only have 1 break point for Zverev. I thought there was 2. Anyway, there was 1 service game for Jannik, which was lengthy. Okay, Zverev hit a serve, 2-5. I think it was a lengthy one with loads of juices and maybe just the 1 break point. And I think there was a second serve on that break point as well. New balls here for Zverev at 2-5. For those of you wondering, when do they introduce the new balls? After 7 games. Which is normally an advantage for the server. Oh, we had a little... That's funny. 15 love. We had the first serve landing in, and it arrived with plenty of depth at the feet of Alexander Zverev, and he decided to do a front-facing tweener. And then there was an unforced error from Sinner on the forehand. I have no idea whether it was induced by the comical element to that point. Another first serve from Zverev lands in. Another really good forehand from him. And Sinner can't deal with it. 30 love. (2-5), 30 love. Zverev serving. At least to keep Sinner honest in terms of having to serve this out. Another first serve lands in. Sinner does really well to get his racket on it and almost enough purchase to get it over the net, but not enough. 3 game points for Alexander Zverev, 40 love. And the first serve stats are just going up and up and up for the German. Well over 80% now. That first serve lands in as well, but Sinner manages to get it back in play. And maybe that's it. That's the difference. Sinner messes up the backhand, by the way, so it is a hole of serve for Zverev. But the thing that Sinner and to a large extent Djokovic and to some extent Alcaraz, but let's just hone in on Sinner right now in this match. Just some comment from the umpire about don't yell during the point. I don't know if that's what's bothered either player, because we have seen a few complaints from both players, but I don't recall them mentioning the interference from the crowd. But yes, Sinner doesn't matter. Zverev, I mean, I remember Zverev putting in 80% plus first serves against Carlos Alcaraz at the Australian Open a couple of years ago, and it blew Alcaraz away, and it meant he lost in 4 sets in that quarterfinal of 2024. Oh my goodness me, Jannik Sinner did really well to stay in that point, but ultimately lost it. Love 15. So the first serve from Zverev, which if he's getting 80% in, just no one is beating him, or certainly no one is breaking him, and yet Sinner has broken him because he gets the returns back in play. He gets those first serves back in play, and often after that, we're at neutral. Anyway, love 15 here on the Sinner serve. So there is a bit of concern for the Italian, but then he hits an ace. 15 all. I want a prediction from you in the live chat. Just write Sinner in 2, Sinner in 3, Zverev in 3. Maybe you think Zverev in 2. Let me know in the live chat what you think. The serve clock is counting down. Where are we at? 5, 4, 3, 2. And he just does his service motion in time. Okay, we're into the rally here. We know because Zverev did really well to get this back in play. Good depth there from Zverev. Now it's on the back end of Sinner. Zverev just waiting for his chance. This is a chance now for Zverev. Does he take it? More or less, but it's good defending from Jannik Sinner. Zverev comes into the net and puts the volley away. That's great from Zverev. He had a chance. He went for it. He then went for it again, and then he came into the net. Very good from Alexander Zverev. Wins the point with an outright forehand volley winner. And so it is 15-30. Okay, shot clock here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I would say he's late. Sinner's late there. Now, I think the umpire needs to be strict because he's probably a second over when he's going into his service motion. But a strict umpire could have punished him on that one. I want to see the shot clock all the time. I want to see that more. Okay, 30 all. Backhand return into the really good return there from Zverev. Got a chance now on the forehand. Didn't quite go big enough. And he did go big on that forehand and he missed it. I mean, he's gone for the right thing. It was a chance. And he kind of went big on the previous one. He just didn't get as close to the line as I think he'd hoped. 40-30, set point, Jannik Sinner. I want to see the shot clock on every single point at the moment. I don't care if it's set point or whatever. But you're not going to show it to me, are you? No. Okay. Sinner serves down the tee. It's a really good serve, and Zverev can't deal with it. He wins the first set by 6-3. In terms of the scoreline, it is same old, same old. 42 minutes. Going to have a quick look at the head-to-head in terms of the recent encounters. But in general, I know Sinner obviously leads the head-to-head. But, so it's 7-4. Just trying to think the last time. Is it like 2 matches where Zverev hasn't won a set? 3. The last 3 matches he hasn't won a set. Let's go back to Vienna from their match 4 matches ago. Okay, serve quality here by Jannik Sinner, 9.5. Average speed, 97 miles an hour, eclipsing Zverev's 91 miles an hour. Maybe Zverev needs to put a bit more on that first serve. Both, by the way, getting over 80% of their first serves in. So I was praising Zverev for the high first serve percentage stats. But Jannik deserves equal praise. And yeah, I mean, the story of the match is probably just a bit about ruthlessness. Sinner had 1 chance on the Zverev serve, took it. Zverev had a chance on the Jannik serve, didn't take it. Sinner's ability to get those first serves back in play from Zverev, it's unbelievable, 84%. And yet somehow Sinner's managed to break. Maybe there's not enough pace on those first serves, maybe. But somehow Sinner gets it back in play anyway. And he wins that first set by 6-3. Yes, so that's 7 sets in a row now for Jannik Sinner. The previous 3 matches in straight sets. In the Paris Masters, the ATP Finals, and then recently in Indian Wells. They've actually played each other a lot, haven't they? In the space of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 matches in 5 months? Because that Vienna match, I think, is October. So October, November, and then March. 2 matches in Indian Wells and Miami. Okay, let's get the scoreboard back on the screen for you. We have Zverev serving first at the beginning of the second set. He's going to have to go it the hard way if he's going to make a Miami final for the first time. Oh, no, for the second time in his career. John Isner, of course, was the other final he made in 2018, losing to Big Bag John in 3 sets. Serves down the T, Zverev here. Now it's a forehand. He comes into the net, and that's the right decision, and because Sinner cannot pass. 15 love. Okay, Zverev to serve. Is it going to be another first serve landing in? Yes. And understandably, Sinner couldn't deal with that 30 love. I think I saw a scoreline that was either 7-5, 6-3 or 6-3, 7-5 from Matthew earlier. First serve into the net there from Zverev. So second serve here for Jannik Sinner to look at, which is a rarity today. Backhand return. Backhand from Zverev into the backhand of Jannik Sinner. Backhand now into the forehand of Jannik Sinner, which goes into the net. 40 love. 3 game points for the German. Okay, 3 game points for Zverev here. Where are you going to go with this serve? Down the T, forehand return. Forehand from Zverev. Comes into the net. Tricky-ish smash. Puts it away. Game Zverev to love. In fact, his first service game as well of the match was also a hole to love. As he was applying pressure to the Sinner serve. In fact, he got love 30, didn't he, in both of the games that Sinner opened up with. And he also had a break point in the second of those games, I think it was, which was a lengthy Sinner hold. And that was that, 2-1. That was the last time this match was very close. Because from that moment onwards, then Sinner won 2 more games to get to 4-1. And that was the set in the end. 8 o'clock local time. 1 a.m. In Germany. Midnight Greenwich Mean Time. Of course, in just a little over 24 hours, us Europeans will be changing our clocks. We'll be going forward an hour, spring forward. Ace down the T from Jannik Sinner, 15 love. I mean, how many aces is that for both players now? I don't remember one from Zverev, but he could have hit one. No, he hasn't. 8 aces for Sinner, 0 for Zverev. Backhand now into the forehand of Zverev, which goes into the net, 30 love. Do make sure you hit that like button, by the way, people. And if you haven't already done so, hit subscribe. And if you hit subscribe, watch that little number just below my head, and you'll see it tick over. And I'll be forever grateful. 30 love. So first serve there from Sinner goes into the net. So here's a little chink of light maybe for Zverev to at least get in the point or maybe even attack this second serve. Let's see how this pans out. Sinner serves down the T. Took a risk on that second serve, to be fair. And that forehand just goes long. 30-15. Yeah, around about 70% of you watching right now have not subscribed. So that means a few of you watching are not subscribers. And if you all hit subscribe right now, that little number just below my head will go doo 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 doo. And you could do a little dance. Okay, Sinner serves. Misses the first serve again. So it's another second serve for Zverev to look at. Back-to-back second serves. Last time it was a risky second serve from Sinner, which almost reaped the reward, but then he messed it up on the forehand side. Backhand return here from Zverev. Backhand now into the forehand of Zverev, which is a good change of direct from Zverev. And Sinner can't deal with it on the forehand side, and we're at 30 all. Despite the scoreline, Zverev has put up a very good showing right now, and it's probably just about 1 point, which was that forehand winner on the break point opportunity. Indeed, Zverev Peters 9-0-3-3. Lehecka is already in the final. Zverev Peters 9-0-3-3. If you haven't already done so, can you just click that subscribe button for me? Thank you. Serves down the tee, unreturned, 40-30. Zverev got his racket on it and got it over the net, but it ended up landing in the tram lines. As we see Greg Norman once again there in the background. Greg Norman, a.k.a. the White Shark, the golfer. If you know how many major titles that Greg Norman won, let me know in the live chat. A few. The Australian. Serves out wide. Zverev does well to get that back in play. Oh my goodness me. That forehand must have just clipped the outside of the line. Yes, it did. Again, maybe a little fortunate for Sinner in terms of the fact that I don't think he would have wanted to go exactly that close to the line. We will have a watch-along Zverev Peters 9-0-3-3 as well for the Lehecka against Sinner or Zverev final on Sunday. So please do join us for that. We'll also have Coco Gauff against Arina Sabalenka tomorrow as well. Are you a Jannik Sinner fan, Zverev Peters 9-0-3-3? And have you already hit subscribe? Serves down the tee, which Zverev can't deal with. Let's have a look at Zverev in terms of first serve stats. Where is he at now? 83. 20 from 24. I think he's only missed one in this second set. Good. Thank you, Zverev. He's missed a first serve here. Has Mr. Zverev. So his second serve here for Jannik Sinner to look at. Okay, where are you going to go? Look at how deep Sinner's return position is. Forehand return from him is pretty good. Zverev on the stretch there, but that's going to land in. And Sinner's going to miss that forehand. So 30 love. Zverev here, 1 game all, 30 love. And he's missed another first serve there, Zverev, so his percentages will be dropping below 80% now. I think 20 from 26 is roughly where we're at. Yeah, 77, 20 from 26. Backhand return. Forehand now into the backhand of Sinner, which is going to go long. 40 love. Three game points now for Alexander Zverev to get us to 2-1 in this second set. Serves down the tee. That time lands in the first serve. Forehand from Sinner is going to miss. Yes, just. So Zverev holds to love. And two very, very comfortable service games for Zverev to start this second set. In fact, I don't think he's dropped a point on serve in this second set. Had the change of ends. We will stay live for a post-match debrief, and we will look ahead towards the final between Sinner or Zverev and Yuri Lehecka. So we will be live for plenty of time after the final to keep talking tennis. So do stay with us for that. Do you predict Zverev Peters 9033? Do you predict a Sinner win? Do click either way in our poll as well. You can vote for Sinner or Zverev as to who you think is going to win this particular encounter. I'm going to have a look at that poll actually right now, and I imagine it is pretty heavily in favor of Jannik Sinner. Yeah, 78% have gone for Sinner, 22 for Alexander Zverev. Yeah, get voting in this poll as to who you think will win. Also, next time you are on the Tennis Warehouse Europe website, go there and use the code TALK10, TALK10. You can see it just flying across the bottom of the screen there. And you'll get a discount on a variety of products. Okay, back to this match. Jannik Sinner serving here at 1-2. Of course, the winner, as was highlighted by Zverev Peters 9033, will be playing Yuri Lehecka in Sunday's final, which we'll have for you live on the channel. Serves down the tee, backhand return from Zverev, just lands in, backhand now to backhand. Sinner now into the backhand slice of Zverev. Sinner comes into the net. Lovely volley, though, from him. Wow. I mean, that slice that Zverev had, he didn't really have much choice on it, but I didn't dislike the fact that Sinner was coming into the net in terms of Zverev's perspective. But he couldn't pass. And that volley was sensational from Jannik Sinner. 15 love. Sinner's missed the first serve. So a second serve here at 15 love for Alexander Zverev to look at. That was 120 miles an hour, that first serve. The second one, I'm going to guess, will be about 90. Let's have a look. How fast was that second serve? Are you going to show me? Missed it forehand. 15 all. But no, I don't see a speed for that serve. 102. So 12 miles an hour quicker than I thought. Okay, 15 all. Sinner serves, misses the first serve. So that first serve percentage is dropping for Jannik right now. And it is giving Zverev a chance. Backhand return here for Zverev into the backhand of Sinner, which is pretty good. And because of Zverev's height, of course, he does have to bend down, doesn't he, quite a lot. And it makes it just that little bit harder and the likelihood of it going long that little bit greater. 30-15. Zverev, of course, in the past has complained about the speed of the courts. Look at that, 7 winners, 7 unforced errors. Sinner's hit 16 winners and 16 unforced errors. So it just shows you that Sinner is just pushing the dial a little more than Zverev. But yes, Zverev has complained about the speed of the courts on the tour slowing down to favor Jannik and Carlos. Well, Miami's pretty quick. 40-15, Sinner ace out wide. So 2 game points for Jannik to level this up at 2 games all as we approach the halfway point in this second set. Jannik Sinner, that I see in the background, the Miami Grand Prix. Jannik is a big Formula One fan, as he acknowledged in his acceptance speech of the Winners' Trophy in Indian Wells. And it's a good serve out wide that Zverev can't deal with, and we are at 2 games all. Yes, 2 all. Okay, 2-all. Zverev serving. Don't think he's dropped a point on serve yet in this set, but he's going to drop one now. Love 15. Backhand return here into the forehand of Zverev, which is going to be a lovely forehand winner from Zverev, 15-all. Zverev missed the first serve. I think we're well below 80% now on that first serve percentage. Yeah, down at 73 for Zverev, 77 for Jannik. Okay, 15-all. Backhand return here from Sinner into the backhand of Zverev, which is pretty well hit. Sinner having to bend down, but he's dealt with that well. Forehand now into the forehand of Zverev. Now it's on the backhand of Sinner. Forehand from Zverev is big. That's the right thing to do. As soon as you get that short ball, you have to go for it, Mr. Zverev, and you do. 30-15. It's not hit an ace yet. Mind you, it's not hit double fault. In fact, we've not had a double fault the whole match, which I think, considering we're midway through the second set, is pretty good going. I mean, the obvious statistical difference is the fact that breakpoints 1 conversion is 0% for... Oh, that backhand passing shot from Sinner is sensational. 30-all. Zverev has had 1 chance and didn't convert. So his percentage is 0. Jannik Sinner had 1 chance and did convert. So his percentage is 100. In a way, that's the match. There's obviously a few other bits and pieces, but that's the biggest one if you've just joined us. So, 30-all here. Zverev serving. Is he going to have to face a break point again? Backhand return. Zverev comes into the net, but that's a terrible volley from Zverev. And Sinner punishes that poor volley with a fairly easy passing shot. Look at this. Look at this. Serve volley. But did he hesitate on that approach? Maybe. Either way, the volley was not good enough. And he was just a sitting duck at the net. And Sinner just passes him easily with that backhand down the line. So, break point for Jannik Sinner. He's had 1 so far in this match and he took it. This is his second. Will he take this one as well and maintain that 100% record? 30-40. Zverev to serve. Out wide. Backhand return. We're into the rally. Forehand from Zverev is really good. Sinner does well with it. But now, in fact, Sinner's probably in charge here with the backhand. No, he's not. We're at neutral. Backhand to backhand as we speak. Now it's on the forehand of Sinner, which is going to go in the net. Relief for Zverev, because that was an unforced error that you probably wouldn't anticipate from Jannik Sinner. Yes, he did want to change directions. Yes, he did want to go over the higher part of the net. But no, he didn't make it. And so now he's at 50% on break points. Still 50% more than Zverev, of course. But, yeah, juice. I wonder how important that point will be come the end of the match. If Sinner wins, it won't be important at all. Oh, Zverev nearly came into the net again off that serve, but probably because of how bad he hit the previous volley, he changed his mind. Anyway, backhand to backhand right now. Now it's on the forehand of Zverev into the forehand of Jannik Sinner. Forehand up the line from Zverev is not bad, and he could have also approached the net, but decided not to. It doesn't matter because Sinner can't deal with it. And Sinner just physically struggling a little bit, but we do see this a lot with Jannik as we enter the 5th minute, or actually the 6th minute for this game. And we have a game point here for Alexander Zverev to get us to 3-2 in this second set. Misses the first serve, does Mr. Zverev. So second serve here for Jannik Sinner to look at. 2-all. Advantage. Zverev. Where are you going with this serve? Down the tee. Forehand return into the net. Zverev holds. 3-2. Change of ends. We will take a quick break.
Ready. Play.
And if you're wondering what this little thing is, well, let me tell you now, whether it be tea, coffee, or merely water, it tastes so much better from a talking tennis mug. And you know what? They can be yours if you wish to purchase one from our website. We've also got bags and stickers and hoodies and notebooks. Mira Andreeva. T-shirts as well, of course, coming in both black and white. And we've got a classic jumper for you as well, and many, many other things for you to purchase for excellent prices so you can look like some of the coolest people on the tour. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready. Play.
All right, we're back, people. And we're just getting to subscribers, so thank you very much, whoever that was. Sinner here serving at 2-3. Zverev has just saved a break point on his serve. I wonder how important that'll be come the end of the match. Well, we'll see. If Sinner ends up winning this set, and therefore the match, not that important at all. Yeah, but we'll see. I do think that this has not... It looks like with 6-3 in the first set for Sinner, and he may go on to win this, 6-3, 7-6, 6-3, 6-4, whatever. But until now, the difference between the two players has been paper thin. Paper thin, wafer thin, something like that. Okay, we're into the rally here. And that rally's going to go the way of Jannik Sinner, 15-love. Great to have so many of you on board right now. For those of you who haven't already done so, please hit that like button. And if you can hit subscribe, that would be great. We're all here. We're all liking tennis. I'm talking tennis. I guess you're listening tennis. But if you just hit that subscribe button, that would be great. And by the way, you'll see this little number tick over. And you'll know that that was you. And I'll be forever grateful. Second serve here for Zverev to look at. Backhand return from him into the forehand of Sinner, which is wonderful. Really flat, really difficult. Low over the net, skimmed off the surface, and Zverev stood no chance. 30-love. Just looking at this poll, it's not really shifting much, understandably. 78% voting for Jannik Sinner. 30-love here. Sinner out wide. Backhand returns really good from Zverev, but somehow Sinner stayed in this rally. That's another great backhand, though, from Zverev, and it's 30-15. Whew. (30-15) Jannik Sinner. Misses the first serve. It clips the net and lands out. An hour and 10 minutes on the clock. Backhand return here from Zverev is really good. Sinner just about gets there, though. Now Zverev is at the net. It's going to be a lob, and it's going to go long. So 30 all. You know, we might just go 3 sets. We might. Sinner serves out wide. Forehand return's going to not be clean, and it's going to be enough for Sinner to get a game point at 40-30. Hour and 11 minutes on the clock. Game point for Jannik Sinner to get to 3 all. Do make sure you join us for both the women's final tomorrow and the men's final on Sunday as we continue these watch-alongs on Talking Tennis. Forehand return from Zverev goes long, and it's 3 games all. Sinner's not been broken yet. He has had to fend off 1 break point early on in the match. He's had 2 break points of his own on the Zverev serve, and he took 1 of them. And that was enough to win that first set. 3 all now. Zverev serving. Thank you for that latest person who hit subscribe. You know what? There's about 15 people watching right now who haven't subscribed. If you all hit subscribe right now, this little number below my head will go crazy. And you can do a little dance. Will Zverev or Sinner be dancing their way to the final? We're about to find out. I say we're about to find out in the coming minutes or hour or so. Undetermined amount of time, I know. Ahmed, if you hit subscribe, I'll tell you who I think is winning this set. Backhand return, backhand from Zverev. Forehand now from Sinner into the forehand of Zverev, which goes into the net. Love 15. Hit that subscribe button, Ahmed, and confirm that you've done so. And I'll see this little number tick over, and then I'll tell you who I think is winning this set. Oh, in the meantime, you can also hit the like button and give us a follow on Instagram. Okay, that's fair enough, Ahmed. Great to have you on board. Well, pre-match, I said Jannik Sinner in straight sets, and I guess I'm still going that way, but there's a lot of optimism for Zverev. But I am just going to lean towards Sinner to take this set. Why do you ask? Okay, Zverev serving here, 15 all. Forehand return, backhand now from Zverev into the backhand of Zverev. Oh, lovely volley there from Zverev at the net, 30-15. Okay. Good to see you in the chat, Ghosty. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Where in the world are you tuning in from, Ahmed? I'm in Germany, in Western Germany. Ghosty is in California. And this match, of course, is taking place in Miami. So we're very much a global community. I know we had someone in the chat the other day from Islamabad. We had Terry in the chat earlier on from Queensland as Zverev messes up that half volley, so it's 30 all. We had Matthew in the UK. We have Jane as well from time to time in the chat. And we also have Ashley, both of which are based in North America. We don't very often get Scandinavians in the chat, do we? Ah, you're from Pakistan as well. Great. Good serve down the tee there, but somehow Sinner gets it back in play. Zverev had a chance to come into that. Didn't take it, but it doesn't matter because that's a really big forehand. But Sinner somehow deals with what a backhand that is from Zverev, 40-30. Yeah, we had someone in Islamabad a few days ago as well. Ahmed Diaries 99. Were you born in 1999? And therefore, you will be 28 at some point this year? No, 27, sorry. Do the maths, John. Game point here for Zverev to get us to 4-3. We've only had one break of serve so far in this match. What's going on? There's a few boos from the crowd. We've got Zverev encouraging the boos. I don't know. Oh, he's got a time violation, Zverev, for taking his time, I guess, over the serves. Sinner's been a bit lucky to get away with that as well today, to be fair. Ozan's back. We've got Ozan in North America as well. Misses the first serve, Zverev here. It was 126 miles an hour, that first serve. Yeah, he does seem to come in for a hard time, this umpire. Second serve ace from Zverev down the tee. No lacking in bravery there. 4-3. Change of ends. An hour and 16 minutes on the clock. Yes, I am. You can call me John, by the way. I am from the UK. I was born there anyway. By the way, feel free to give us a follow on Instagram, as you can see in that little note below there, at Talking Tennis TT. We appreciate all your follows on Instagram, but you can also follow us on TikTok as well, where we're just simply talking tennis. Oh, hello, that was my TikTok just opening up. Oh, we're up to 279 followers on TikTok. Who would have thought? On Instagram, I think we're over 2,000. In fact, I know we're over 2,000, but I don't know exactly what. Just a fraction over. I see Alex Ayala has posted something on Instagram. Was she posting someone dancing somewhere? I don't know where that is, but Ayala's having fun watching some music and some dancing. Bit of a slow burner, this one. I'm just watching her Instagram post from 36 minutes ago. I mean, I know her next tournament is in Austria, but that isn't for another 10 days or so, so I'll be surprised if she's there already. I reckon she's still somewhere in North America, probably somewhere in the US, but it looks a bit chilly to be in Vienna, so it might be... Oh, she's got a nice picture there of some seafood. She might be in New York. Seeing a funny post from Qinwen Zheng as well. Very amusing post here on Instagram. Okay, let's get me back to... Well, first of all, I want to see how many... We have 2,021 followers on Instagram. I'm sure you'd be pleased to know. There's our Instagram page. I think they're all much of a muchness, really. I don't think Layani's the favourite. I think amongst the establishment, I think you'd probably, as in the tennis so-called journalists, I think that they would probably go for Fergus Murphy, just because of how authoritative he is. But I don't think... I think they're all equal. I mean, you can't influence a match that much. Oh, hang on. Here's the serve with Sinner. Is he going to get a... No, see, look, that's the point. There you go. Sinner again past the shot clock. I say again, it's happened a few times. Some of them have been marginal, to be fair. And he's like a second late with his ball toss. Or his movement, if you like. But that one was a bit more. Yeah, Ghost. But I don't think he's any better or any worse. But as soon as Fergus Murphy does something, and it's like, oh my, you get your, I mean, 90%, I would say, of tennis media is basically, if you're not in this list, I'm thinking of you as tennis establishment media. Those that I wouldn't include would be Matt Futterman of The Athletic. I mean, I guess there's isolated examples from Rothenberg, for example, but I know, of course, people would broil at the suggestion that he isn't anything but part of the very much the fabric of tennis establishment. I just don't think any. It's not like a referee in football, and even nowadays, the referee in football, a lot of their power has been taken away. But a referee in football can very much decide a match. An umpire hardly can. Oh, wow. Good reactions here from Zverev. And in fact, he's going to win the point as a result. Well done, Zverev. 30 all. Much to the delight of large sections of the crowd, who I think won a third set. And they might just get it. We'll see. He's not done a lot wrong today, Zverev. I think he could have upped the pace a little on some of those first serves. John, I mean, actually, as probably someone British, I didn't know that. But why are they considered? So it's about framing this question. Why are they considered that? I mean, maybe there's an anti-British sentiment, particularly in terms of how the British and English in particular are perceived globally when it comes to football, especially. I think there's a perception of arrogance, and so therefore that's possibly why. Oh my goodness, what a volley that is from Zverev. On the other side, though, are you actually, you don't mean why are they considered some of the worst? Do you mean actually why are they? Because if you're asking me why are they, I don't know. I mean, I have issues with referees, but I haven't really ever factored in the nationality, really. I don't think there's any nationalities that are worse than others, in my humble opinion. First break point for Zverev in this set. Second one overall. How's this one going to go? Misses the first serve. So therefore, they're not considered, Ozan. They are. Backhand return into the backhand of Zverev. Sinner. Backhand to backhand right now. I'll come back to that in a moment. Forehand from Zverev into the backhand of Zverev. Oh, I'm getting this all wrong. Just like Zverev did on the backhand there. Deuce. Because the way you frame that question, Ozan, is different. Why are the British refs considered some of the worst in the world? If you had said to me, why are the British referees making a bad decision week in, week out? Yeah, I think just because they're human beings. But like I say, I don't know. Maybe I don't watch enough Italian football or Spanish football to make a fair comparison. Sinner misses on the first serve. But I was very annoyed at the referee for the Bournemouth United match for sure. And not just the referee, the VAR. I mean, nowadays, Sinner wins the point advantage. Nowadays, it's more of a body, isn't it? It's more of a body, isn't it? So my anger in a way now is more, for example, that Bournemouth situation. Yes, the referee made 2 mistakes, one huge one in not awarding the Ahmad penalty. I can see why the other one was given, but it was soft and therefore was much softer than the Ahmad one. Sinner holds from break point down 4-all. But, you know, the referee is there and he has a decision to make immediately. So regarding the bad decisions that they're making, they should be corrected by the VAR. So maybe the VAR is not implemented well in the Premier League. Maybe that's the case, whereas it is implemented well in Spain, Italy, Germany, the Netherlands, etc. Yep, he is letting him off the hook. I agree. 2 break points he's had. He also had a love 30 at one point on Sinner's serve. That slice is going to go long. He just has an issue, doesn't he, with those low bouncing balls. And Zverev obviously being, I think he's 6'6". So love 15 here. Suddenly from a break opportunity, you know, loses this next point and the match could be almost over. But he doesn't lose this point, does he? Surely not. No, he doesn't. 15-all. So we approach the hour and a half mark. Zverev here serving at 4-all, 15-all. Down the tee, backhand return. Zverev on the forehand now into the backhand of Sinner. Backhand now from Zverev is going to have good depth on it. And he's going to miss that backhand though, 15-30. Honestly, I think in terms of tactics and to a large extent execution, he's not done a lot wrong, Zverev. Yes, I guess it's just those 2 break point opportunities. And some other times on the Jannik serve, we didn't quite get it right. But, you know, he's only been broken once all match, which I think is decent. Although he's in trouble here. He's in trouble here. He's in trouble here. He's in trouble here. He's going to miss that forehand, and it's going to be 2 break points for Jannik Sinner. 15-40. Ozan feels as though this is game, set, match. Do stay with us live, by the way, as we continue beyond the end of this match. We will be doing a post-match, post-mortem, if you like, followed by a preview of the men's final. Just seeing that comment from Ghosty. Okay, 15-40 here. 2 break points for Sinner to take a 5-4 lead in this second set. Serve's done the tee. Of course, he gets the first serve in. Zverev should win the point from here. Zverev should win the point from here. Zverev does win the point from here. 30-40. So that's another break point in this second set he has saved. 2 from 2 in terms of saving break points in this second set. But is he going to make it 3 from 3? If he doesn't, then Sinner will be serving for the match. Okay, Zverev to serve here at 30-40. Huge moment in the match. Biggest point in the match so far. Good serve out wide, unreturned. Huge. Deuce. So, a couple of good serves there from Zverev, helping him save those 2 break points. That's 3 break points saved in this second set. Misses the first serve, though, here at deuce. So he might have to save another break point yet. We'll see. Zverev serves. Out wide, forehand return is going to go long. So it was a good second serve. So that's 3 serves in a row there from Zverev that have done the damage to help him win those 3 points in a row and get himself to an advantage and a game point to get to 5-4. And then suddenly, the complexion feels very different as Sinner will be serving to stay in the set. Hello, Jane. How are you? Ozan's game set match take now feels a little further away, but it might come back on the horizon in a moment. Jane, of course, is a member. You can become a member too. It is pinned in the live chat. And you can get access to extra bonus footage, exclusive for members only. An hour and a half on the clock. Zverev misplaces the ball toss. Lots of fun tie breaks in Miami highlights, Jane. Yes, indeed. Especially that Tommy Paul Arthur Fils match. Oh, double fault. First one of the match, I think, from either player. And we're at deuce. Pretty sure that's the first double fault. Yes, indeed it is. Zverev has only had one ace in the match as well. And I think, did we get one of those in this game to save a break point? Anyway, that's his first double fault of the match and the first from either player thus far. Deuce. Good serve out wide, and it's not going to come back. Some really good serves from Zverev at very important moments in this game. None more so than when he was 15-40 down. And now he has another game point for 5-4. There is the Italian Davis Cup captain, no doubt who he's supporting today. Someone in front of him has a pretty nasty black eye. I don't know if he's been getting in a barroom brawl with Ghosty. Serves down the tee, forehand return. Now it's on the backhand of Zverev, who should be in charge at this point. But Sinner somehow turns defense into attack potentially. And the forehand there from Zverev is missed. Deuce. Big game this. Deuce. Yeah, second serve ace. Yeah, exactly, Ozan. Good point. Thank you. That's why we have a few sages like yourself in the chat. But we also have Ghosty to sort of balance it up a little bit. You know, we get a few tennis sages like yourself. And then on the other side, we have Ghosty. Serves down the tee. It's another ace. Because I'm pretty sure Sinner didn't get his racket on that. But that was a first serve ace. And it's another game point for Alexander Zverev. Hour and 32 minutes on the clock. Game point here for Zverev. To finally get us to 5-4. This has been a pretty lengthy service game. And he's got another ace. 3 in one game. Haven't gone the whole match without one. There you go. So we do get to 5-4. Yeah, Ghosty. The only thing I will say is that I think and fair enough. But Jannik has been a bit lucky with that as well. Jannik has been a bit fortunate too. By the way, Ghosty, you missed my feast or famine pun earlier when I was talking about some of Arthur Fis's shots and performance and situations earlier, which Ozan loved so much so he ended up tweeting about it later on, which was very kind of him to reference us in that tweet. Yeah, so from 0 aces and 0 double faults, Zverev hits 3 aces, including a second serve ace and a double fault in the same game to give us a bit of fun and a bit of drama, saving 2 more break points. Zverev has had 2 break points, one in each set on the Sinner serve, but hasn't been able to take either. And at the moment, Sinner is 1 from 4 on the Zverev serve, so 25% conversion there. In this second set, actually, Jannik Sinner's first serves landing in has dropped a bit. Because if you remember, I think it was around about 80% at the end of the first set. But it's now down to 67, although up to 68 after landing his first serve in this particular point. Yes, indeed. I do think the case is pretty strong to suggest that if Jannik Sinner was ranked 200 in the world, he would have had an 18-month ban. Pretty much, if he was ranked, maybe even 100. I wonder where the ranking threshold is. Maybe around 10 or 20. Maybe it's even 1 or 2. I saw an interesting thing about, I think it was about football. It was about the Premier League. And it was about the sanction they meted out for Chelsea regarding some financial discrepancies. And yeah, let's just say they broke the rules a few times and largely got away with it. The problem is the Premier League has a product, and therefore the heavier the sanction, the more they damage their own product. And it's exactly the same with the ATP and by virtue the ITIA. With a top 10 player, it doesn't damage the product at all if it's 150, 200, 300, 500, 1,200 in the world. In fact, if anything, they go, look at us. We're authoritarian and we deal with this. So that's the problem. I heard a rumor that Man City are facing a 60-point deduction, though, John. Yeah. Well, let's see. I don't know how that rumor can manifest itself. I just don't understand. There can't be rumors when it comes to this punishment because the decision hasn't been made. So I think it's very, very difficult to have a rumor. It either is or it isn't. It's like I've heard a rumor that, I just don't get it. Because whatever, unless they get a 60-point deduction, that rumor will be false. If they get a 58-point deduction, it'll be false. If they get a 62-point deduction, it'll be false. If they get relegated 3 divisions, it'll be false. If they get to keep everything, it'll be false. Okay, 5-5. Oh, Ronaldo there. In and amongst it. R9. He does love his tennis, yeah. Saw him having a lesson with Patrick Mouratoglou a couple of years ago. They did a nice little video on that. I think it was 2 years ago. That could have been last year. I saw Mouratoglou is doing watch-alongs, by the way. At least he did one for, I think it was Alcaraz Medvedev, maybe, or Alcaraz Fonseca, actually. I think it was in Miami. Oh, lovely backhand there from Sinner. Love 15. Probably shouldn't be promoting other people's watch-along, should I? But he calls it, it's so funny. He calls it the coach or something. Live with the coach, Patrick Mouratoglou. Okay. Live with the coach, Patrick Mouratoglou. Patrick, just come and join us. Just come and join the old, us. Yeah, well, I mean, Cam Williams, in terms of his numbers, is certainly in another level. I think he's Champions League and we're Championship. 30-15 here with another ace there from Zverev down the tee. 30-15. I see that I've forgotten his name, but there's the German guy who used to do a lot of watch-alongs. I don't think he does them anymore, right? And Game to Love don't do them anymore. And nor to the last I saw, what's the name? Quality Shot. I haven't seen anything from them for a long time. Yeah, exactly. And he's built up a hell of a community as a result. I mean, you get there first, and that's your reward. Backhand cross court, 40-15. Backhand cross court missed, I should say, from Jannik Sinner, bringing up 40-15. Scrambini, yeah. It's in the paddle business, is he? Okay. Ace out wide, 6-5. So once again, when they return to the court, Sinner will be serving to stay in the set, but he did so with consummate ease the previous time as Zverev gets his wash bag out. Maybe he's going to be brushing his teeth. Well, actually, though, of course, this could be insulin related because, of course, he is a diabetic. I wonder if that is indeed what we're going to be seeing here. I'm not a big fan of needles. Just watching him very closely. It looks like he's doing something with his fingers, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is diabetes related. So 5-6 here. Sinner about to serve. Okay, here comes the needle. Oh dear, I don't want to see this. Oy, oy, oy. Oy, oy, oy. I think I'd rather be the rack in Walmart, though, Ghosty. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I'd rather be, I tell you what I'd rather be, is a German kiosk selling reasonably priced beer to people to enjoy and drink on the streets. That's what I'll be. No nonsense as well. You go in, you buy your beer, and you leave. You're going to have me again tomorrow doing the stream for the women's final, which will be, I think, 3 p.m. local time in Miami, 8 o'clock in Germany, 7 o'clock in the UK, middle of the night if you're in Islamabad. Sorry, Pakistani people. I don't even know what a Dacia Sandero is. Cam Williams is a Bentley. Okay. At least I'm reasonably priced anyway, Ozan. Ace out wide there from Sinner. I think that means he's in double figures now for aces. Although I do a bit of talking, don't I, really? So maybe I'm not quite as efficient as that. Mind you, to have a channel called Talking Tennis and to not talk will be some going. Actually, he's on 12 aces, so he's well over double figures. Like, you can't be well over double figures. Well into double figures. If he was well over double figures, he'd have hit like 4,000. Because then it would be on 4 figures, wouldn't he? But well into double figures, 12. 12 to 5 in the ace count. 30 love. Ace down the tee. Make that 13. 40 love. Just clipping the outside of the line. Just hitting the minute mark as well for this service game. I think that's his 13th. Unless that was his 12th. Okay. 3 game points here to get us to a tiebreak. We're into the rally. Sinner's going to miss that backhand. Yeah, it's 13, yeah. Sinner's going to miss that backhand, 40-15. Oh, great. We just added a subscriber. As we inch closer to 28,542 subscribers. We're inching closer to that. I'm not saying we're at that. But that will be our next one. There we go. There's an ace for you down the tee. And we are going to a tie break, ladies and gentlemen. And it may well decide this match if Jannik Sinner is to win it. Remember to stay with us live as we do a post-match reflection on this particular encounter, but we'll also preview the upcoming final, which, if Sinner wins this tiebreak, will be between him and Jiří Lehecka. Okay, 6-all, tiebreak time. Zverev to serve, hour and 44 minutes on the clock. Seems to be a bit annoyed with someone in the crowd. Not for the first time today. Okay, bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. Zverev serves. out wide. Forehand return. Now on the forehand of Zverev into the backhand of Sinner, which goes up the line. Forehand cross court into the forehand of Jannik Sinner, which goes into the net. So 1-0 Zverev. Shall we add some music? What do you think? Do you like that? Okay. 0-1 becomes 1-1 after an ace from Jannik Sinner out wide. His 15th of the match. He's certainly feeling good on his serve right now. That's another one that's just clipped the line. You like the boing noise, did you? Okay. That was his 15th. That ace down the tee. Zverev is annoyed by that. A wry grin from the Davis Cup captain there. 2-1. 3 points so far have all gone the way of the server. I mean, even if they just keep acing each other or unreturned serves, it actually wouldn't be that boring. When it happens like in normal play, you know, 1-1, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, it is boring. But actually in the tiebreak, because of the tightness of the situation, it is kind of intriguing. Anyway, we're going to get a second serve here for Jannik Sinner to look at. So maybe the monotony is going to be broken for Ghosty. We'll see. Second serve here. Where are you going to go with this second serve? Sinner ready to pounce. Backhand return from him is going to be mishit and it's going to go long, 2-all. So very, very short points thus far. I would say so, Ozan, yes. Backhand return here from Sinner into the backhand of Zverev. Backhand to backhand as we speak. Oh, that one nearly landed out from Zverev, but we're still into the rally here. And the forehand from Sinner goes long, and so it's 3-2. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Three all, change of ends. Okay. So where do I see this one going? I think I'm talking myself into a Jack Draper win, but I'm going to do it over 3 sets. Maybe a tight third set, maybe another 7-5 or 7-6 for Draper in the third. Hey, Nostradamus, big call, John. That's what you're all here for. No, a lot of these sound effects I don't think I do have. we're into the rally here. Sinner on the forehand volley, and he's got it. 4-3. 4-3 Sinner.
Ready.
Okay, Zverev serving here at 3-4. Yeah, there was one. It's going to be 4-all here after this volley from Zverev. 4. There was a 2-day period, Ozan, when I got 15 out of 16 right in Indian Wells. And some of them were big ones. Like I went for Gibson in 3 sets over Paolini, for example. I went for Draper in 3 sets over Djokovic. Yeah. Okay, Zverev here 4-all. Silk Stradamus, yeah, indeed. So it's done the T. Backhand just gets back in play. Zverev, though, messes that one up, in my opinion. Now he's got a smash, and he puts it into the net. And that is a terrible point from start to finish for Alexander Zverev. You probably deserve to lose the match because of that point alone. I mean, so decent serve here. But look at this first one. Terrible. Why is he going down the middle of the court with that drive volley? You've got to be going towards a line with that drive volley. I'm actually more annoyed at the drive volley because it's the drive volley and it's the lack of courage on that drive volley that then prompts the smash. So 5-4. 2 holds here for Sinner, and you've won the match and you're in the final. 5-4 Sinner serving. Where are you going to go with this serve? I feel an ace coming on. Where are you going to go with this? Not an ace, but we're into the rally here. But he's on top of the rally after that very good serve. That's a good forehand from him, and Zverev can't deal with it. And it's going to be match points for Jannik Sinner. And it's going to be 2 of them as well. The first of which is going to be on his serve. So, is this the conclusion of the match? Time to get a bit nervous with that heartbeat. Will we be seeing an applause come the end of this match? We're about to find out. Okay, 6-4. Sinner to serve for a spot in the final of the Miami Open where Jiri Lehecka awaits. 6-4 tiebreak. Can he get the first serve in? Yes, backhand return. Gonna go long. Jannik Sinner is into the final. He wins 6-3, 7-6. It was a match of fine margins. Zverev is all smiles. But the fine margins were simply this. They had 1 break point each in the first set. Zverev had his chances, didn't take them. Sinner had 1 chance and took it with a sensational forehand winner down the line. Job done for the first set. Second set was nip and tuck. Both players having breakpoint opportunities, but not taking them. So we get to the tiebreak, and then we come to that awful, awful point for Alexander Zverev. Serves down the tee, serves well down the tee. Sinner does well to get it back in play, but now we've got a drive volley that's not easy, but easy-ish for Zverev. And he's got to go towards he's got to create an angle. He's either got to go with a forehand drive volley in that direction or a forehand drive volley in that direction. Just don't go down the middle and give Sinner a chance to stay in the rally. What does he do? Goes down the middle, gives Sinner a chance to stay in the rally. Sinner gets his racket on it, lofts it up, and as bad a smash as you'll see from Zverev goes into the net. Sinner then has a couple of match points and takes it on the first. Sinner served really, really well today. Zverev did too, I guess. In fact, we'll have a quick look at the stats, shall we? As Sinner extends this head-to-head now to 8-4. And that, by the way, includes winning the last 4 matches, actually 5 matches, 6 matches, 7 matches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches in a row. And the last 4 have all been in straight sets. So 8 sets in a row now for Jannik Sinner to extend that to 8-7. He's just signed the camera just by saying final and then signs it. But yeah, stats. Let's go. On the screen in front of me, I can see that performance rating. Zverev's performance rating, 9.1. And then Jannik Sinner, 9.0. That 9.1 must be forgetting that 1 point somehow that he just messed up on Zverev, because that deserved a minus 9.1, not a plus 9.1. Yeah, break points. There was only 1 break of 7 in the whole match. But Zverev had 2 break point opportunities and couldn't take either. He had a couple of love 30s as well on the Jannik serve and couldn't quite put the pedal to the metal. Both getting over 70% of their first serves in, but actually that dropped a little bit for both players because at one stage they were both over 80% in what was a largely serve-dominated match. Zverev, by the way, at one point was 100% at the net, but in the end dropped to 11 from 15. And most crucially, that awful point of his towards the end of that second set tiebreak. And so therefore it is Jannik Sinner who proceeds to the final in Miami again. He was in, of course, the Miami final of 2023 when he lost that final to Daniil Medvedev. He was in the final again in 2024, and he won the title that year. Last year, of course, he was suspended, so didn't play in the Miami final of 2025, of course. But at least in terms of Miami tournament appearances, he has now been in 3 Miami finals in a row. Shall we have a quick look at the Twitter sphere to see if there's anything exciting there? At least maybe an image or 2 to share to demonstrate Sinner's victory. Yeah, well, here we go. It's a nice one from some media account. But anyway, they've got this one, 6376, and an image of Jannik Sinner there to demonstrate his win. Actually, we'll come to the live chat briefly as well. Straight sets yet again, indeed. That's 4 in a row. My call for the final. Well, let's listen. I'm going to give the preview to the final. Let's get into that now, shall we? I remember Sinner and Lehecka playing a match in Indian Wells it would have been the year before last, I think. And I know it was a tight straight sets win for Jannik Sinner, but I thought Lehecka played really well that day. And it was a bit like the match we've just seen in terms of the fact that it was fine margins, but just those little margins went Jannik's way, which has helped create a 3-0 head-to-head for the Italian. So thus far, Lehecka has not beaten his Italian rival, who he's going to be coming up against in Sunday's final. And in fact, he's not won a set either. That includes, by the way, a round of 32 clash that Sinner won 6-love, 6-1, 6-2, which bearing in mind in 2025, Lehecka's ability on clay, maybe he wasn't quite. Oh, here we go. We're going to hear from Jannik Sinner right now. We'll come back to the preview in a moment.
That's a good question. I really don't know. I feel like two completely different tournaments and different conditions, and so coming here trying to produce some good tennis, that was my main goal, and standing here again in the final, means very much to me. So obviously we try to push now in a couple of days, but in the same time, in any case, it has been an incredible swing. Trying to
going for the sunshine double, isn't he?
That was my goal, and couldn't do better. So I'm very happy. Today has been a very tough encounter. But he played some incredible tennis, so I was serving very well in the end, especially in the crucial moments. So I'm very happy, and again, it means a lot to me.
What about today taking into the final against the head shows, playing very freely and also very big on serve?
Yeah, he's an incredible player. He has shown this not only here in this tournament, but throughout his whole career. So, a little bit different, of course. He's gonna be for sure more free than me. So, But in the same time, as I said, look, I try to control whatever I can control, and then the rest we see how it goes. So we're gonna play in different conditions. You know, there was night match. Most likely we're gonna play day. Seeing also the weather forecast, how that goes. So, but again, look, in any case, I'm really, really happy.
Good luck on Sunday.
There we go. Good luck on Sunday, says the interviewer. Actually, you know, just quickly on that, it may be a sort of a nervous response from the interviewer or just an automated response. But actually, I'm not a big fan of those kind of messages. Good luck on Sunday. Congratulations on the win. We hear it a lot. We hear a lot in tennis media, more than other sports, at least the sports I'm familiar with. And I'm not super comfortable with it. I think on that occasion, yeah, good luck is not super. But when you've got time to prepare your question and you're ready and off you go, congratulations on the win. It's either disingenuous because you don't really mean it, or you're a fan and you're demonstrating that, which I think you shouldn't also do if you are a journalist. So I know I'm very much in the minority. I think a lot of journalists are doing it because they want to soften up the person before asking the question. Maybe again, there's a bit of a fear factor involved there. But anyway, I'm not a fan of it, and I tend to avoid it where possible. Okay, looking at Jannik Sinner. What's going on here? I'm just seeing a stat in front of me. In tournament history, Jannik Sinner 4 finals. Is that? Surely that's not the number of Miami finals he's been in, is it? Maybe he's been in 4 finals. Yeah, okay. So was he in the final in 2022? Yeah, because he beat... No, 2023. But he wasn't in the final in 2022, was he? Oh, maybe. Or was it 2020 he was in the final? Or 2021? Yeah, okay, fair enough. I forgot about that. So this is actually now his... he was in the final in 2021, lost to Hurkacz in straight sets. He was in the final in 2023, lost to Medvedev, didn't he, in straight sets. Got to the final in 2024 and beat Dimitrov in straight sets. And now he's in the final in 2026. So, yeah, and he's not dropped a set en route either. In fact, that is now 11 matches across the Sunshine Double. And it's 11 sets for Jannik Sinner. He has lost his serve on a few occasions, but not many. He lost his serve, of course, to Mickelson, didn't he? In the round of 16, he was 5-2 down in the second set there, but managed to prevail. But he's going to be coming up against Yulia Lehecka. I'd rather hone in on the, compared to the head-to-head, and this is Lehecka's run, by the way, to the final. Lehecka had a 3-set win over Fritz. It's the only time he dropped a set en route to the final. Very impressive today. Served really, really well. Didn't even have to face a break point on his serve against Artur Fils today. Fils was a little bit off it in terms of physicality, I think, today. But nevertheless, Lehecka was there ready to pounce and take advantage of that. But as I said, even before the match with Fils, his tournament was defined by the 3-set win he had over Taylor Fritz. And by the way, ATP Live rankings, I think, are very interesting for both players because now we've got Yulia Lehecka at 14 in the world. If he was to win the title, I think he would shoot up to number 12 in the world and will be knocking at the door of the top 10 in the world, which, of course, is where Steve Flink has him come the year-end rankings, which was a brave call from Steve, but I understood why he went for that. Just going to share the live rankings with you here. Also relevant because Jannik Sinner, not on Sunday, but at some time in the near future, could get to world number 1. There's an article here from Tennis 365 about that. If he wins the title in Miami, and then I think he wins the title in Monte Carlo, because he didn't play in Miami or Monte Carlo last year, he would then overtake Carlos Alcaraz for world number 1. A lot of tennis to be done. There's a lot more matches for him to win to continue this winning streak, of course, that he's had since losing to Jakub Mensik in the Middle East a few weeks ago, just over 5 weeks ago now. But that is the scenario. There are 1 or 2 other scenarios where he just goes deep in Monte Carlo if Alcaraz has an early exit. But by virtue of the fact that Alcaraz won the title last year in Monte Carlo, I mean, he's got a lot of points to defend. I actually think mid to long term, I think whoever is number one after Monte Carlo will stay there for the foreseeable future, because that will then maintain wherever we're at after Monte Carlo. The next few weeks, Alcaraz won't have a ton of points to defend in that brief period, because he only got to the final in Barcelona last year and didn't play Madrid. So that would mean that 2 or 3 week Iberian leg of the clay court swing would be okay for Carlos. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to Lehecka against Jannik Sinner. I'm going to share with you once more their head-to-head. Yeah, 3-0. As we look, both age 24, by the way. It feels in some ways very different to that, but they are both age 24 years old. Lehecka's been on the tour just a little bit less time than Jannik, and Jannik was just a little bit ahead of him on the curve. Where Jannik, of course, is far further ahead is in terms of Grand Slam titles, career titles, which is 25 for Jannik and 2 for Lehecka. Also, that prize money, look at that, $60 million for Jannik Sinner compared to a measly $7.7 million for Jiri Lehecka, not to be sniffed at. Regarding Sinner, and just compared to his peers at this tournament, by the way, he is in, fourth final, wasn't it? 21, 23, 24. So he's now in his fourth final. Sampras has also been in 4 finals. Murray in 4 finals. Nadal was in 5 finals and didn't win any titles. Yeah, that's unfortunate for Rafa. Federer also been in 5 finals, but winning 4 titles. Agassi in 8 finals, along with Djokovic, both of them being in 8 finals and 6 titles. Of course, Djokovic made the final last year, so that's one of the 2 occasions he was in the final and didn't win the title. Mensik was the defending champion, but he went out much earlier in the tournament. There was a possible Mensik-Sinner clash, but we didn't get that in the end because of Mensik's early demise to Francis Tiafoe, wasn't it? Who Jannik brushed aside comfortably. Okay, back to this head-to-head. They had a match in Beijing. So the 2 matches on outdoor hard, at least, were very close. Because that Indian Wells one, I know it was 6-3, 6-3 for Sinner, but I remember watching that. We did a watch-along for it. And the margins in each set were super close, super, super tight. Jannik served unbelievably well. Lehecka had one or 2 moments, but ultimately just couldn't quite make an impression on the Jannik serve. Lehecka also served really well, but Sinner, once again, was ruthless in that match, just like he was in his semi-final today with Alexander Zverev. All right. Where am I seeing this won and lost? The problem Lehecka's going to have is the Sinner serve, which if he gets over 70% first serves in and he hits bombs as he has done throughout the tournament. I mean, Mickelson struggled. Yes, Mickelson got the 1 break. Tiafoe couldn't lay a glove on that serve. Very few players in the world can, with the exception of Carlos Alcaraz. And of course, we've yet to have a Sincaraz this year. And so that's going to be a big issue. Lehecka's going to have to serve as well as he did today, but maybe even better, because we saw how Sinner, for example, was dealing with the Zverev serve today. Zverev had a pretty good serving day, over 70% first serves in, and even when it was 80% plus, Sinner still managed to get a break from just 3 second serves, I think it was in the first set. But he managed to get a break in that from just the 3 second serves because he was so ruthless and hit that unbelievable forehand. And so it's going to be so difficult. I think the margins and paths to victory as well for Jannik are just much wider and greater. Whereas Lehecka needs a few things to happen. He needs Sinner to have an off day serving or an off-ish day serving. Lehecka needs to serve at least as well as he did today. He probably needs to return even better. He needs to come a bit closer to the red lining against Jannik. He's not going to be afforded the same gifts that Artefis gave him today in terms of unforced errors unless Sinner has a really, really off day. So you can see there's just a lot of variables that have to go the way of Jiri Lehecka to even probably make this a 3-setter, for example. So you can probably see, Ozan, where I'm going with this. As I know you asked for me for prediction. I want to get your predictions in the live chat as well. By the way, at the Masters 1000 level, so this is across just 1000 level, Jannik Sinner's non-stop sets winning scenario started in Paris, the Paris Masters last year. I'm going to see who the last person was to take a set off him. Oh, actually, he won that without dropping a set as well. So there's 5 matches there. And then it's 11 across, so it's 16. So yeah, we're at 32 since he last. And the Shanghai Masters was the last time he'd lost a set, and that was to Talon Griekspoor. Remember him? So it's 32 sets in a row for Jannik Sinner. And I think that's a record. The closest was Novak Djokovic between the 26 Indian Wells and 2016 Monte Carlo. That was 24 sets in a row. Sinner also had 18 in a row himself between Shanghai 24 and Rome 25. Not so many Masters 1000s across that spell. Plus, of course, he missed the Sunshine Double that year, didn't he, at the beginning of last year? Do I see it becoming 32 and then ticking over to 33 and then 34? Ticking over, almost like a YouTube subscriber count. Yeah, I do. I think Sinner wins in straight sets. Do get in the comments section and let me know your predictions for this match. Obviously, hit that like button. Obviously, hit subscribe. You can mark. Also, yeah, all the other stuff. Become a member as well if you want. Or don't if you don't want to. But if you do become a member, you can click that join button and get some emojis, badges, and exclusive content, etc., etc., etc. I was hoping to get some comments regarding the upcoming final in the live chat, but I don't see any predictions from anyone yet. 32 sets in a row. Not since Big Call John's magnificent performance at Indian Wells 26 have we seen this level of dominance indeed. Well, is my prediction for this upcoming encounter going to be right? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments section. Ghost is going for Sinner in 2 as well. He's jumping on board the Big Call John bandwagon. Ozan, though, disagreeing slightly anyway. He's going to go for Sinner in 3, hedging his bets a little bit. But also Ozan went for Zverev in 3 today. Oh, and what did John go for? Jannik Sinner in straight sets. Funny that, right? Ozan really looking into his crystal ball big style here. Yeri plays the lights out first set, but it's still not enough. I like it. I like it. And Jane here, really, I think her crystal ball is as big as very big balls. Yeri's going to win in 2 tiebreak sets. All right. Thank you for joining. Make sure you join us for the women's final. Watch along with me again tomorrow. How exciting is that? Do check out plenty of our other videos. We've got previews as well for that final, for example. We've also got a poll on YouTube, the community tab, which I'd love you to vote in. That is my tennis racket just slipping down to the ground. That is the tennis racket that's also the same tennis racket of Alex Ayala. Here's that poll, by the way, which is very interesting in terms of the fact that Coco Gauff is leading that poll at the moment after 653 votes. I do think people tend to vote in these polls as to what they want to happen rather than what they think will happen. But that is an issue for a separate day. In the meantime, thank you for joining, and you know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.